It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing another discussion video that was suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community. So if you want to go ahead and join to be able to suggest videos and other topics, as well as communicate with the rest of the community about different things such as movies, books, DVD, everything in between, you can go ahead and join with the link in the description. Just scroll down the rules, make sure you read them, of course, and hit the knife emote to speak with the rest of us. But with that being said, we're going to be covering a video from Scott Junn titled Trickster's Update Made Him Worse. So I'm curious to really hear about this because at least when I saw in the preview, it didn't look too bad. I thought it was like all right. I thought they were just gonna revert him to like the original and just maybe give him some quality of life changes, but it just seems like they decided to actually go through with giving him an actual, like, rework, which is interesting to see. I'm very curious to hear really just a bit of a perspective on this, and it seems like Scott has given his hot take on it. I just want to see like what it makes it a nerf. Honestly, I'm pretty curious.
Now I played Trickster and I played on the new map. I want to finally give my thoughts on that new content. And let's start with the good stuff. Trickster's Delusion, the new map, and I'll double down on saying this from the last time I said it. It is by far the most gorgeous map in Dead by Daylight. It almost looks like it's not even like part of the game. It in fact looks so good that it actually kind of makes every other map in DBD look kind of like shit. That's how actually good it is compared to, God, the last map we got was Fallen Refuge. It's not even the same video game. Like, it's not even just the actual just visual aesthetics of it, but it's the attention to detail. Like, you can go in every one of these rooms and it's a unique room with different things inside of it. Like, there's a music store with a drum set and guitars. There's like a laundry place.
Which I will say, I personally have not played in the PTB. I have not ever really played the PTBs, and I probably still won't play the PTB. So we're going off of what we can see here, and yeah, I can kind of agree. The map definitely looks great. They really outdone themselves, and I'm glad that the art team is still going strong. I think the art team has got to be one of the best things about behaviors like dev team. The art team always knocks it out the park for the most part. So once again, map design, if that's a part of the art, hey, I'm down with it.
There's like little shops like this. Like, they have so...
Now, the one thing that is a bit saddening though is that we never got a Ghostface map that was, covered in the trailer, right? Like, there was like that store. We never got a map for that sort of neighborhood or store that was in the Ghostface character trailer. Which I have to preface, obviously, it's not a Scream license. It is a mask license. The ghost face mask is the license. So, of course, we just aren't going to be getting anything, from the movies if it wasn't obvious enough. But there's still people that genuinely believe that it's somehow a Scream license when the outfits are nowhere near the same. There's literally no character from the movie that was added in. Like, even the name of the guy wearing the mask is not even from the films, but hey, here we are. Let's go ahead and continue.
Many unique rooms in this map that I can't imagine how much time it took to make this. Like, genuinely, the level of detail in this map is absolutely insane. Like, it's just so good to the point where I just kind of wanted to just walk around and just look at it. There's a bunch of cool little Easter eggs too. Fucking body fell from a roof and scared the shit out of me one of these games. There's like a garage door that can close, and I think you can hear like Yunjin screaming. I'm not sure who it is, but it's just cool. It's just genuinely a fucking cool map. Really awesome. That's how it is aesthetically. Playing on it, not so much a wonderful experience in my opinion. Now, I think I'm a little biased here because I only played Trickster on this map. Obviously, I wanted to test Trickster, so I only played Trickster. And this map as a 110 killer, not so good. It is not a fun time at all.
Yeah, I have to sort of add on to what Scott is saying. This is something that is very consistent with a vast majority of the maps in the game. If you're playing a slow moving killer, rest in peace, buddy. Like, nice try. You tried it, buddy. you're not gonna make it. And that's unfortunately just the norm when nowadays with the map size, the palette density. You know, like if you're not even, I mean, mobility is king, right? That's just why Blight is so frequently picked, because he's the most mobile character in the game and most reliable mobile character in the game. And unfortunately, we just don't have the option or feature to, you know, actually like move faster with tricksters or ghost faces or legions or pigs or anything like that. No, not at all. So if a map is gigantic, and I'm assuming this map might be huge, then it's going to be a hard time. And then it's even worse when you're on 110%, because you're the slowest you could possibly be, right next to NERFS, which I think is probably the slowest, next to actually Myers in Scratch Mirror. Yeah, so it's bad. It's great to see that the art, like I always say, the art team is usually really good. The problem is always the freaking size of the maps and the palettes themselves. That's more so with balancing and spawns and all that kind of stuff, like, which is something that is very, like I keep saying, is very consistent, unfortunately.
This room I'm in particular is something I caused, or I called, there was going to be an issue with this. So this whole mosh pit section, it needs like a scaffolding across the mosh pit or something, because you can pre-run so early in this building. It's like the RPD staircase where you have to rotate around it and just look at the person over and over again as you're chasing them for 30 seconds before you actually physically get in range. And that sucks, especially as a...
Even looking at the gameplay in the background for Scott here, I have to 100% agree that loop looks disgusting. Like they get, like, if they just remove this palette, maybe it could make it a little, well, actually, no, because even RPD main, like in the main lobby area, that loop is still crazy, so maybe not. Yeah, they gotta add something for that, bruh. Like, or like block it, or do something, like, you know, put something in the way, like, to make it less efficient, like just something, because he's moving at 110 and he's slow. 115, golly, like, what are we gonna do? Probably just as bad. And then I think the only character that can really keep up is Blight, because Blight could just zoom right through the side or go through the pallet and then go right up to the corner as they turn it and then dash into them. It's just better. Like, come on now. And it's just unfortunate, man. Like, a lot of these characters that we have just like kind of stink. It's like they don't have anything to really keep up with these people, you know. And unfortunately, if you want to actually, you know, get kills, as considering that's your job, you need mobility, you know, and that's really unfortunate. I even think a lot of people that have been maining low tiers are probably just switching, or they're just not playing. You know, that's another thing that's happening too, I think. Speaking for myself, like, I either don't play the game or I just don't play my own mains, because it's like, what is the point? Like, I'd like to actually have fun, you know, when I play a game, and not have to you know, crash out pretty much because I can't catch up to a single soul, because everything is sprint, burst, and pre-run, along with palette density.
110 killer doing this as Trickster, it was awful. So many times during the stream, I had to just hold forward for literally half a minute before I got in range to actually start throwing knives at somebody. And it was just the perfect example of uninteractive hold W gameplay. It was just not fun at all. So main building needs like a hole punched in it, or some scaffolding across the mosh pit, something like that. There's also a couple of window setups on this map that are absurdly busted, genuine infinites, because you lose chase, at least as a 110 killer. Like I said, I'm pretty sure as a 115 killer, I wouldn't have lost chase, and it would have been not fine. It's still a triple vault entity blocker type thing, but the problem is there's this structure that's connected right next to Shack, and it's got this window that's so strong you basically have to vault it. It's a god window, and it has line of sight breakers for you to lose chase.
Yeah, that's going to be another problem. And even with Bamboozle, because I know somebody's gonna be, you know, oh, but just run Bamboozle. Bamboozle's not gonna cut it. All right, Bamboozle only applies to one window at a time. So you vault one, then they'll vault the next one. You vault that one, you vault the next one. They can rotate back because Bam is not covering all windows. It's covering the last one you just vaulted. So no, that's not gonna cut it. Even with the 15%, I mean, they still are fully running through a window, pretty much. Like, you have to essentially vault or go around again, right? So I mean, it's just not great. I seen a double or triple vault window setup on Nostromo at some point. I think it's a random spawn. I've seen that happen before, and it's nasty. So I can't even imagine, how bad it is for a 110, let alone Hag, or even because they don't even have range, right? Like Hag she doesn't have range. Huntress, same thing. Like you need to be able to get lucky. And 115s are they don't have range or anything either. So. Or speed, so they're not going to be able to catch up to that. Scott says maybe, right? Like he thinks that it probably wouldn't lose Bloodlust, but it is a line of sight blocker, so it's going to lose chase. Like we've even seen this with Shack in general. Like the shift teching on the Shack already allows for that. So it's already impossible to mind game it as it is a lot of the time if they're able to shift it. And it's just not great. We kind of knew this was coming.
So it's so absurdly strong.
Okay, let's actually hear what Scott has to say about Trickster himself.
Weaker than before. He has no more depth than before. Almost to the point where I'm like, what did they even actually do? It's like literally the tuxedo mask meme, but you didn't do anything. He's just sort of exactly the same. Now, I've had a lot of people argue with me, and I think it's Stockholm Syndrome at this point. A lot of Trickster players saying he's got so much more depth now. And I don't think he has any more depth. I think he is exactly the same as he used to be, except now you get dopamine hits with a rank up thing. So the way I can exemplify how I don't think he's any deeper than he used to be, it's basically, are you doing anything differently than how you used to play the killer? If you're not changing your gameplay in any way, he's not deeper. Now, you're getting bonuses for doing things that you were already doing. Like, if you're a Trickster player and hey, I get bonus rank points for hitting shots through tiny holes in walls and stuff like that, or doing long-range shots.
I kind of agree. I know it's there really is a flip of a coin when I do end up actually agreeing with Scott here. But, yeah, I mean, with this, I kind of agree. Like, Tricksters already were going for shots through little holes and loops and things like that. Tricksters are already going for M1s whenever they can, or whenever they need to, or whatever have you. They already are breaking pallets whenever they have to or need to. Like, these are things that already happen. The only difference is we get a little graphic on the top of the screen. So I kind of have to agree with that. How much more depth is there, right? And the thing is that unfortunately, with a lot of characters in DBD, there really isn't much depth because a lot of it gets removed. But in general, on base level, not many characters can walk around with a 200-300 page guide. You could I could literally say that a character like Ghostface, for example, that I would say that I know a good amount about, I wouldn't even be able to write more than 50 pages, I would say, because there really isn't much else to learn. For example, in comparison to Clown, I think is a good example of a character that has a ton of depth but looks like a puddle on the surface, but then when you actually put your foot in it, it's an ocean down there. You're like, what happened? And it's kind of insane. And then apparently Spirit also had gotten a crazy long guide too, which Spirit I wasn't expecting. Now with a character is like Skull Merchant, maybe not. Maybe there is a guide that could be that long. But regardless, point being, I can't say many characters have crazy depth. They just don't. I mean, it's like I've said before, it gets removed or it just doesn't exist. So with Trickster here, it seems like it's a bit of just the same, except you just get a fancy little graphic. So I can't really say you're doing a lot. But we'll see what Scott has to say.
And stuff like that. But if you're an avid Trickster player, you're already doing those things because it's cool to do and it's fun. You're already trying to do that.
Not only is it cool to do and fun, but it's also what makes him so powerful in the right hands. If you're able, to put the time in and become I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. It's v.h.x.x or v.h.s.x. I don't know how to pronounce it, but whenever I've seen high level insane Tricksters, getting these little blade taps from these crazy angles, it's insane. And it's awe-inspiring, I guess is the right word for it. Insane to see it. Absolutely love it. And the fact of the matter is, like, I don't think that it's any easier to do that. I don't think it's any harder to do that. I think it's exactly the same. If I'm not mistaken, the difference is you're getting a little letter on the screen.
You're not being a 100-hour Trickster player and just back revving people with knives 1 foot away every time. You're going for these shots already. So my point is, if you're already doing these things, you're not changing your gameplay at all to benefit more from this rank system. You're just doing the exact same thing you've been doing. You just get a nice, pat on the back for doing it now, which is cool, but that's not depth. That's dopamine to something you're already doing. So I wanted to just clarify my opinion on that. It's no deeper than what you're already doing. The only thing I can actually think of that's deeper is when you get to S rank, you have to actually make the educated decision of, am I going to stay in S rank in order to maintain my rapid reload speed and my rapid throw speed, or am I going to cash it in for a main event to just commit to this one down right here? That's like the only decision you have to make, but that's not very deep. That's a pretty...
I do have to agree with Scott on that. I think that even previously with Trickster, it's kind of the same. Like, obviously, with the current patch, not the PTB, it's kind of the same. Like, you're like, okay, throw blades. Okay, when do I use this? Okay, can I land my main event? Okay, cool, got the down. All right, next hook. Okay, do it again. Like, so it's kind of the same. I hate to say it. It's kind of the same. I'm like, it really is kind of the same thing. It makes a good point. I did see like the reveal for it. I thought it was cool. I was like, okay, like they added some like a fresh coat of paint to them, but it's still the same thing. I mean, like they're not really like doing anything crazy. Like I think like if you really wanted to make it like extra crazy, like if you had some way of like being able to bounce stuff off walls certain ways, and maybe there was like physics around those things where like if you're good enough, or maybe let's say for example, oh, you're in S rank, you can bounce stuff off walls to get certain tags, and then it's like only the multiple hour tricksters can know the right physics at the right time at the right thing. I'd be like, yo, okay, that's impressive. Like, whoa, like, oh my goodness. But like you know what I mean? Like, but at that point it's like that's like, extra like level stuff, and I don't even think it has that kind of level of physics in the game regardless. But anyway, point being is like the gameplay, even while looking at it with Scott showing it looks identical pretty much to how it already did before this PTB. So I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that Trickster's getting changes, but I am saying that like it's not like this gigantic crazy drop where it's like, oh my god, Trickster's amazing now. Like, it's just like, okay, cool, like they just made him a little better, pretty much. Cool, nothing fresh, but hey, we're cool with it.
Pretty easy decision to make. Like, that's not, oh my crazy depth now. It's like, dude, that's one decision you got to make like every 2 minutes or something like that. Not a huge deal there. So he doesn't feel any deeper at all. It just feels like they gave some nice dopamine to people that already enjoy playing Trickster, which is fine. But the problem is he's weaker than before now. It would be fine if they just gave those dopamine hits and then that was it. And
so I'm curious to hear about why he's like specifically weaker though, because to me, like, at least like from what I'm seeing, he just looks identical as he was before. So wherever he was on the tier list before, he pretty much stays there. Like, it doesn't really go up but the fact that he's even weaker is crazy. So I gotta hear this.
He's just kind of plays the same. But they actually genuinely made him weaker, in my opinion. Again, I'm not an avid Trickster main. I've talked to a couple of people that are really good at Trickster, and they agree that he's nerfed. But there's a couple people that think he's been buffed too, so this is not a concrete fact or anything like that. It's just my opinion. But I'm going to go over why I think he's nerfed. I think the amount of changes he got towards the negative far outweigh what he got to the positive. And it entirely is an issue of speed. He is just slower than before in all aspects. So he was reverted to 110% movement speed. So he now moves 5% slower base kit, which is awful when it comes down to just chasing people in a line. It takes so much longer to catch up when you're 110 versus 115. So that's already terrible. On top of that, when he readies his knives and holds it, he moves slower than before. So he's base kit slower and now even slower while holding the knife. Now, when he starts throwing knives, he slows down even further. So there are 3 stages of slowdown that are happening now. It feels so bad. And here's the main reason. The main counterplay to Trickster is holding forward and, you know, wiggling a bit to dodge knives when you're in the open and making sure there's as much shit as possible to obstruct line of sight while still maintaining distance. You don't loop him in the same way like you loop a Huntress, because with Huntress, you're like, okay, he's committing to the throw and I dodged it. Now I go somewhere else. With Trickster...
Yeah, I mean, the way that Scott's putting it, I gotta say, he makes a very good point. Trickster already plays the same way as he did. You know what I mean? He already plays the same way. He's already doing the same things. But now, the kicker is that he's just doing the same thing, but now worse. He's slow, and then slower, and then even slower. So that's not great. So not only are we adding on to the whole W meta, which is already a problem in the game, but now we're changing the character to now be even worse against whole W meta. So I'm like, that's unfortunate, but almost expected. I almost kind of expected that to happen at the same time. I mean, unfortunately. Yeah, that's actually, I mean, Scott brings up a very good point. Like, a lot of characters already struggle against the whole W meta, and that's why a lot of mobility characters, like Kaneki, who isn't even an S tier, by the way, but still an A tier character, is still hated because, you know, a character like Kaneki directly is opposed to the whole W meta, because you hold W, he also goes right up to you, and then you're forced into making decisions. You're forced into having to loop. You're forced into having to actually, you know, use your environment around you. And because hold W is essentially just hold W, there's not really much of a plan beyond that. That's probably why people get very frustrated, because they, like most characters, I would say like 90% of the roster is literally countered by the shift W. So the fact that one character can actually counter it is of course going to be frustrating. So then, yeah, Trickster, who's apparently being slowed multiple times in his power, now hold W does even better. Say you're on an indoor map, good luck hitting them. You know what I mean? You're basically back to M1 Andy, stuff like that. It seems like you also have less blades. It seems like you're also not going to reload very quickly until you're at S rank, so that's not great. I don't even know if Iron Maiden will still work with him, because he does look like he reloads quite slow anyway. Yeah, like I don't even know if like the leveling system is any faster. It looks like it might be, but even then I don't know, right? Like, it's really hard to say. It definitely is a nerf though. I will have to agree with that. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this topic. Do you think that Trickster was nerfed? Do you think it was a buff? Do you think it was kind of just like a side grade? What do you think? Leave a comment. Also, hit the thumbs up and maybe subscribe for more stuff like this. If you really want to support the channel, you could become a member on YouTube or the Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off our members from Patreon. Pro King 101, YouTube members: Kargan Falcon, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not JLo, Evil Peach, Cozy Bozy, Theo Endire, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. And for the Twitch, we have Final Girl Bunny, Leona Art, Zazabu, Evil Blade, Danica, Crow Vader, Cake is a Road, Zeneron, Ginsburg, Mr. Morik, Kevin, Zero Mocker, Ashai Boo, and Gryffindor. Appreciate you guys supporting. Really means a lot. If you want to become a member, you can go ahead and join through Patreon or YouTube members, or even sub on Twitch. See you guys in the next one.